when you are transacting with another person, so since your attitude is in the form of reaction towards the other person, so your behavior is in terms of the other person, image of the other person. So in one day, if you have a transaction with 100 persons, so you are not living as yourself. It is only as in terms of other person. Master has given a wonderful example for this. He said it is like a cloth. Suppose in a room there is a cloth. One person enters the room and uses this cloth for some time and then leaves it and goes away. Another person will come and he also uses this. Like this 100 persons, if you use the same cloth, so your mind is like this cloth. That is what Master said. Your life is like this. Awful. So all your behavior is in terms of a reaction according to the impression which your mind received about the other person. So where is your real life is not that. So therefore the whole training of yoga is to turn its mind towards higher buddhi. Because in mind you have different layers. Mind is not a substance. It has different layers. So the lower end of the mind is in contact with senses and body and environment. Higher end is in contact with buddhi. So if you can turn this up, then the mind is absorbed, surrendered to buddhi. Then others will not exist to you, because what you call others is the same inner light. So for you the inner light exists. Your transaction will be the inner person, not as an impression anymore. That is your real existence. Your inner light will be focused now, which is coming from the soul. So this light is coming from the soul will enlighten all the layers without any interruption, because your mind is turned to buddhi. Then it is no more a reaction, it is only action. Then you do what you have to do, but not you want to do. This is wonderful. Master has given. You have to discriminate between what you have to do and what you want to do. If you cannot make a discrimination between these two, then your life is very problematic for you, not for yourself. You will make it complicated. You observe yourself. Every day, from the moment you wake up, many ideas enter into your mind. I want to do this, I want to do that. Then you put it to discrimination. Is it a need or is it a want? There are two things, needs and wants, needs and desires. Needs and desires. You have to make a discrimination between a need and a desire. Need belongs to the body, desire belongs to the mind. Is it that? Need belongs to the body. For example, you feel hungry, that is a need, that belongs to the body. So then you take food and that is finished. It takes no time to fulfill the need. Finish. So when your hunger is over, then the need is finished. After that, if you want to eat, that is desire. Yes, that is because of the influence of these things. If the mind is turned towards higher, then you will attend to needs and you put away the desires. But desires, you need not fight with the desires. Once again, this also we have to remember. Oh, I want to eliminate my desires. Then you cannot do it. It is only through transformation. By directing the mind to a better thing, then you can do it. Otherwise you cannot. You cannot oppose. If you start opposing with your mind, then it makes very difficult. Very strong, mind is very strong. So not by opposition, that is what you read in Mandala scripture. We read so many times. Not by oppressing. Because this is your inner implement. If you make your mind your enemy, then you have to live with your own enemy in your own house. So therefore, you should first know not to make an enemy in yourself. You have to make a friend. So not by opposing, not by oppressing, not by fighting. So first, when you start discriminating between needs and desires, automatically your mind will lose its influence on you. That is the secret. Because you are not observing your mind, therefore your mind and senses keep on doing what they want. When you start observing, when you keep yourself as an observer and keep observing, then the mind will be alert. Oh, I am being observed, so I must be careful. Yes. So you have to practice observing your mind. Yes, that is the thing. Yes, that is, because everyone has to experience this. We have to practice, we have to experience. Observe. So you have to make a discrimination of needs and desires. So therefore, if any idea comes into our mind, immediately what we have to do? Put a discrimination. Is it a desire or is it a need? If it is a desire, then once again you make a discrimination. Is it useful for the welfare of everybody or not? If it is a desire which has nothing to do with the welfare, then keep it aside, postpone it, not now. Postpone this. We have to practice this. This mercilessly and scrupulously we have to do. Yes. You just make observation. This desire, what we got in the mind, is it for the good of either for the society or for the members of the family, or for? So if it is not for us, if it is only meant for me, then postpone it. You can tell your mind, not now, later. We will see later. This is like a game. Your mind tries to make a trick on you, and it is like a game, and you try to make a trick on your mind to postpone it. You should not say that, oh no, it is not me. No. Then the mind will become stronger. That's the trick. Say later. Yeah, we will do it later. Anantaram. Later. So, every day in our daily life, we must learn, we must put into practice to make such discrimination between need and desire. If your body needs rest, it will indicate you. Then take rest. But sometimes without need, see, it will be good if I want to sleep. That is a desire. So if you go to sleep when it is not needed for your body, then also you will get into disorder. So anything, either food, drink, rest, sex, or any of these things, in all these things, you must make a discrimination. You must know that if it is need or desire. What Master said, very important point is, your conscious mind will not easily allow you to make this change because of old habit. Because habit is very strong. Habit is a very strong thing. So because of old habit, your conscious mind does not allow you with all these proposals. If you tell your mind, please, you want to change your direction towards upper, well, conscious mind. No discipline. Yeah. Yes. So, without opposing, slowly, you have to convince your conscious mind to allow you to change the direction. Softly, friendly. Otherwise it becomes most difficult for you. The mind will not allow you at all. So here also, so in terms of healing also it's the same thing, because the science of yoga is not different from this science. These are the same. For healing and yoga and all this, they are not different from each other. So mind is, here is everything is centered here, the mind. That is why we have to, about healing, about health and disease also, we must know we have to deal with the mind. In the 3 laws which I have given you, and which you have now, which now you have before you for consideration, we have studied 3 laws. In the previous classes we have studied the other 2 laws. I'll just remind you about these previous 2 laws. Law 1 is in page 5, which we have studied. The first law, just I will remind myself also, you means remind, we have to be reminded. The first law is, all disease is the result of inhibited soul life. All disease is the result of inhibited soul life. And that is true of all forms in all kingdoms. All disease, it is in page number 5. In the introduction itself he has given the first law. Page number 5 in this book. All disease is the result of inhibited soul life. And that is true of all forms in kingdoms, in all kingdoms. In mineral, plant, animal, human, in all the kingdoms, it is true. And that is true. All disease is the result of inhibited soul life. Inhibited soul life. And that is true. Inhibited. Inhibition. And that is true of all forms in all kingdoms. Forms, all forms in all kingdoms. The art of the healer consists in releasing the soul The art of the healer consists in releasing the soul so that its life can flow through the aggregate of organisms which constitute I think better you note the page number than you can see in the book. You have the book with you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Page 5. It is in the introductory remarks he has given. The art of the healer consists in releasing the soul so that its life can flow through the aggregate of organisms which constitute any particular form. And the second law he has given in this chapter. Desire is the product of and subject to three influences. Desire is the product of and subject to three influences. First, a man's past, human beings, a man's past, wherein he pays the price of ancient error. He pays the price of ancient error. Second, his inheritance. Wherein he shares with all mankind, those tainted streams of energy, which are of group origin. Yeah. Page 30. It is page 5 is the first law. Second law is page 29 started and continued into 30. Esoteric healing. And thirdly, the third one, he shares with all the natural forms. He shares with all the natural forms that which the Lord of life imposes on his body. These three influences are called the ancient law of evil sharing. The ancient law of evil sharing. Evil sharing. Sharing. This must give place someday to that new law. This must give place someday to the new law of ancient dominating good. Ancient dominating good. This must give place. This must give place someday to the new law of ancient dominating good. Which lies behind all the God-made. Which lies behind all the God-made. This law must be brought into activity. This law must be brought into activity by the spiritual will of man. By the spiritual will of man. So this is second law. And the third law, which already I mentioned yesterday and we are studying now, the third law. Which one? Third law is 54, page 54, which yesterday I wrote on the board. You have copied. So the third law we have already studied, we are studying now. Diseases are an effect of the basic centralization of a man's life energy from the plane whereon those energies are focused. Proceed those determining conditions which produce ill health and which therefore work out as a disease or as freedom from disease. This is the third law which yesterday we studied. We are now in the third law only. So here he says that in these three laws which I have given you and which now have before you for consideration, it is obvious that the following facts emerge. He is giving some facts. These should be the basis for your reflection. What are the facts? We will see. The first one of the facts is disease is the result of the blocking of the free flow of life of the soul. So he is giving some certain facts. The first fact is disease is the result of blocking of the free flow of the free flow of the life of the soul. Free flow of the life of the soul. Disease is the result of blocking of the free flow of the life of the soul. Because all our existence in all the planes is manifested due to the flow of the light of the soul. That is what we call life. So disease is the blocking, result of blocking. There are some factors which block this free flow. And when this free flow is blocked, there is certain result produced, and that result is called disease. That is what he is explaining. When the free flow of the life, the soul, is blocked by any factor, so the result of the blockage, what is the result of the blockage? It is a disharmonious experience, unnatural experience. So our real experience, natural experience, is possible by uninterrupted flow. This flow should not be interrupted. But this flow is often interrupted by certain factors. So when interrupted by any factor, this free flow, if it is interrupted, then what happens? It takes a different effect. Exactly this is how this is also explained by Dr. Hahnemann in Organon. Disease is also a force. What we call disease and what we call health health and disease are of the same force. No? But the same force, when this force is in its natural direction, and this force what we call vital force, when it is in natural direction, natural course of action, then what you experience is called health. And when the direction is changed of this force, then you have a different expression, and this different expression of the same force is called disease. That is very clearly explained by Hahnemann. What you call disease, what you call health, what you call disease are only two different expressions of the same force. For this, Master has given an example for us to explain this in Organon. You see, you have the river here. The river is flowing. So the river, flowing of the river is a force. So you have built a dam. So you stopped the flow of the river. So when you built a dam, you stopped the flow of the river. So the force increases, because when you have interrupted this, then the force increases. If you do not direct this force in the required manner, then it will destroy everything. Yes. So the engineers, if they only build the dam and leave it like that, then finished everything. Why they have built a dam? To redirect the flow in the required manner. Because the flow of the water is required to turn the turbine to produce electricity, and also it is required to go into the canals for irrigation. So this is the purpose. So what you have done? You have stopped to the flow, and you made another way that your direction is changed. So the change of direction is in the required manner. You can do it according to your requirement. So you can build many number of powerhouses, and then you can do it in many canals for irrigation. So it is for a good purpose. You could achieve. The same manner, when the vital force, this flow of the force of the energy is interrupted, then there will be an increase. And if you do not make a proper channelization, then this force will destroy you. It's the same energy, same force. It depends upon how you make use of it, how you transact with it. So the type of transaction which you make with it decides whether it can protect you or it can destroy you. That is what Hahnemann explained. When you are walking along the river, when it is very hot, then you feel tired, so you will refresh yourself by taking a dip and drinking some water, fresh water, flowing water. Then you feel comfortable and replenish, recharge. That is proper transaction. Otherwise, for some reasons you are depressed in your mind and decided not to live anymore, then you can jump into the river and drown and kill yourself. That is also possible. So, it is the same river and same water, makes no difference. For river there is no change. But with one type of transaction you got charged and refreshed and strength, and other type of transaction you could end your life. So these are two different transactions which you made with the same river. This we have to remember. River has nothing to do. River has no like or dislike for you. Neutral. You see, in the same manner our life force is like a river, flowing river. It is continuously flowing river, such a power. So we must know how to deal with it. So any sort of obstruction, so that is blocking. If there is a blocking in this flow of this life force, so this blocking produces a certain effect which is not normal, which is a different effect than normal effect. So this different effect is what you call disease. So therefore, we must, what we have to do is to identify the blocking, how it happened, where it happened, why it happened, to identify this and trying to eliminate this blocking. Without this, if you want to make something for the disease, for the effect, you cannot bring a real solution. So restoration, that is what is called, explained by Hahnemann. In the very beginning of organon, he says, what the physician should aim to do is to restore. What you call cure means restoration. Restoration. That is healing. To restore the normal, uninterrupted flow of this, that is restoration. So it is not fighting with the disease, not fighting with the symptoms, nothing to do with that. Yeah. Yes. In the direction, the river itself. Yeah, without blocking the river. Yes. Yeah. So need not redirect this and block this and all these things. Yeah, because building of the dam to block the flow of the river is not good also, because it creates so many disturbances in the layers of the earth. And in future yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. When it was built, many villages were submerged totally, because the water rises the level, so that happens. So therefore, disease is the result of blocking of the free flow of the life. So there should be, as long as there is free flow, then it means you are in healthy condition. This is what we have to understand. From the soul level, there should be a free flow of this energy, free flow of the light, without being interrupted. Then it is a healthy life. Yeah. So why this blocking happens, those factors are explained also further in this book, as well as in the sciences like homeopathy. In homeopathy, it is explained in terms of miasms. In homeopathy, Hahnemann has explained the cause of this such blocking in terms of miasms. So the cause of disease is never on the physical level. If we know this, if we remember this, if we know this well, then we will not be drawn towards any such effort to suppress the symptoms or fight with the disease. Fighting with the disease is most unscientific procedure. Because when you want to fight with the disease, you are fighting with your own body. When you bombard, when you use powerful bombs to destroy the enemy, then you are also destroying all the cities and all the other human beings, all the normal civilians and all the animals. You are destroying everything. Because you are not able to eliminate the source of all this conflict. You are trying to destroy. Then what happens? These forces, they hide in such a manner that they hide themselves mixed with all the normal civilians. Then if you have to destroy, you have to destroy these fellows also, normal people also. That is what is happening. In the same manner, dealing with the disease, if you want to destroy the disease, you destroy suppose, for example, the radiotherapy. At the present time, there is the radiation therapy. So what you are doing, you are trying to destroy the part or the any part of the body which is affected by so-called cancer. So what is happening? You are destroying not the disease, but you are destroying a part of your body. You are destroying the tissues of the body. So it is not destroying the disease is not a solution. You cannot destroy you are destroying only the affected part but not the disease. This we have to realize. Because disease is not in the physical plane. What is there on the physical plane is only manifestation of the result of disease. So how can you destroy a disease on the physical body where it is not existing? So you have to go to the root, find out the blockage. If you eliminate the blockage, automatically this disappears. That is what Dr. Hanuman says, that if you eliminate the cause, the effect is not there anymore. Then automatically you have normal condition. But all the so-called medications, strong medications now, you find like cortisones and steroids and all these things, they are given to destroy the immune system. This chemotherapy, for example, chemical. So with chemotherapy, what is done is the immune system is destroyed. Because their logic is, if you leave the immune system stronger, then it is producing all the cancerous tissues, cancerous cells more fast, in a fast manner. So you destroy the immune system, then the cancerous cells are not produced. It is okay. But if you destroy the immune system, your body is prone to all sorts of infections. How can you solve this problem? There was a king once. I may have told you this funny story. There was a king, and the king naturally he always keeps a bodyguard. The kings always keep bodyguards. Even now, the ministers are also gunmen and all these bodyguards. So like that, the king had a bodyguard. So somehow this king, he thought that if I keep human fellows as my bodyguards, they may deceive sometime. They may not be loyal to me. So he selected a monkey. He selected a monkey as his bodyguard. And he trained this monkey to hold a sword and keep always a watch. So the monkey was very loyal. So one day when it is very hot, this king was tired, and in the daytime he wanted to sleep for some time. He was sleeping, and a big fly came and is disturbing the king. A fly. And so again, time and again, king is disturbed from the sleep because of the fly. So the monkey tried to flee away this fly. Every time again the fly is coming. The monkey is very angry. You fellow, you are disturbing my king. So finally he said, now I have to destroy this fly, otherwise he is not stopping. He drew the sword, and with the sword he hit the fly to kill the fly. The fly flew away, and the head of the king also flew away along with the fly. You see? This is the story. So now what we are doing with the disease is the same. You want to destroy the disease, but you are destroying the person. Because we see now, we are often confronted with many cases where all this radiotherapy, chemotherapy, and after this what happens? Finished, they are given all therapies and the vital force is totally destroyed. And now the person is prone to all infections. And again you give some more medicines for each infection. So it's a hell. So it is in no way wiser than the monkey's action in this story. So disease is the product or the result of three influences. That is another thing he is explaining. Disease is the product or the result of three influences. What are the three influences? So one influence is what is called ancient error. Ancient error. Emanating from the past history, of the person involved. And B, human taints inherited because one is a member of the human family. Third one is planetary evil. Taint means The tainting is like, the changing the colors are like this. That is tainting. Planetary evil. Planetary evil imposed upon all forms imposed upon all forms on earth by the basic condition and by time. We'll go into the explanation first. Yeah, basic conditions. I'll tell you what are the basic conditions. So it is the product of disease is the product or the result of three influences. These are the three influences. You just note down. In tomorrow's class we will study what are the influences. There is a third point also, but I say it's only 2 lines. I will just write down. Tomorrow we will study the third point also. ABC in the second point, and third point. It is conditioned by the forces. It means disease. By the forces emanating it is conditioned by the forces emanating from that plane wherefrom man's consciousness is primarily centered. So today we have only noted down. Tomorrow we will see what is this, what does it mean. Vasudeva. Hari Om. Sahanau bhunakto sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. You have the text there? You have this text in your system? Huh? Last time some of you... yeah. In Russian. They have now in German. That is the book in German. They have in Russian book, in the system, in tablet. They have the Russian translation of this. Yeah, they have them with them. Oh yes, nearly. Yes.
This is what they usually say in English. It's a little bit unclear.
Yes.
What I'm talking about.
Yes.
If some guy would translate it from English into English.
But Master Moya has much harder proposal to do. Master Moya. Every 40 years, everything has to be.
This law, the third law we are trying to go deeper into this, about this law. We have seen three types of considerations. Disease is the result of the blocking of free flow of life of the soul. So the disease, actually the word disease itself is significant. You see? Is normal condition. Is normal condition, natural condition. When the flow of the soul is uninterrupted, then what we experience is. So the flow of the life force from the soul, when it is uninterrupted, then our experience is ease. That is natural condition. If there is any sort of